Good evening. How everyone doing this evening? How everyone doing? God is good. God is good all the time. Now the topic gonna be Deborah, a woman judge. She also was a prophet. So she was a woman judge that God called to be a leader over the Israelite. So now she was a fifth judge of the Israel, and she also was the only female that was called a prophet. Now God called Deborah to be a leader over Israel. Now this is a story of how Israel. This is gonna be the story of how Israel gonna take the Canaan, the land of Canaan um back, and he gonna have Deborah to be the leader to help them get the land back. So this story gonna come from Judges chapter 4, gonna be verse 1 through 24. I'm not gonna read strictly from line to line. I'm gonna be all over the place. But the Israelite once again did evil again. Now you know the Israelite is God chosen one, God favorite. But they always catch themselves doing wrong in the eyes of the Lord. So the Lord sold them into the hands of Jabin. He was a king of Canaan, and the commander of his army was Sarah. And he had nine iron carriers, and it was cruelly pressed on the Israelite for 20 years. So for 20 years, the Israelite was crying out to God for help because the commander had so many iron carriers, had so many things just pressing on the Israelites. So they were just crying out to God for 20 years. So now God heard their cries and about to respond to it. So when men are spiritual weak, God will always use a woman instead to complete his purpose. Because you know every battle is God battle. Now Deborah, she was a wise woman in Israelite. Now she was already living in Canada under Israel now, and she was a wise woman. So God called her to pursue his purpose. So God would have her to judge and lead over the Israelite to help them get their land back and also get from under Jabin and the surroundings who was treating them cruelly for 20 years. Now Deborah a prophet, she leading the Israelite. Now she held coat. She held coat under a palm tree. Now you know she was good. She held coat under a palm tree. So the Israelite came to everything problems or everything they had, they came to her for her to decide everything for them. So now she sent for Barker to tell him what God commanded him to do. Now God wanted him to take 10,000 men and lead them away on the mountain. Now God said he would lead Sierra in the carriers and the truth and give him into your hands. Now see, anytime you go to battle, or anytime you about to enter a battle, God gonna always go ahead of you. Cause He not gonna send you out there alone. You ain't gonna never have to feel like you're alone when you're going to battle. Cause God gonna always be ahead of you. Um So when she told him what God said, he wanted him to be the leader over the crew, over the army, the ten carriers. He told her, "If you go, I go." Now this commandment came from God, but then he want to come with his demands. So he said, "If you go, I go." So Deborah said, "Well, I go." So now God called Deborah for assignment. Now this her assignment to proceed. Now Jabin, the king of the Canaan, and the commander over his army, Sarah, who God wanted them to be destroyed. And these are two people that he won't be destroyed that kept on hurting the Israelite for 20 years. So the Israelite been crying for 20 years. Every time you go into battle, you have to always remember that God gonna always go ahead of you. He ain't gonna never send you out there alone. He gonna always be ahead of you. So now, you know God already said he was gonna lead and He gonna lead them to you, put them into your hands. So now Moses' brother-in-law pitched a tent under the tree. Now he saw Sirah and told him that Dirty and Barkman is after you. They're gonna be coming after you. So he took all his nine. You remember he had 900 carriages. So he took 900 his carriages and he went away, trying to run away. So now remember God said He would lead your enemy into your hands, and Moses' brother-in-law told him was that they're after him. So he took and left. He took and left with all his carriers. So now all of a sudden he got tired of all his carriers and all his armies and his men. He just left them. He just left them there. He abandoned them, and he went to a tent where Jada was at a tent. And so she met him when she saw him coming towards her tent. And she asked him to come in and everything. Now remember, he already tired from walking. So he asked her for some water. Now she ain't give him no water. She get him milk. Now he's so tired, he exhausted. He from all that walking, and he was just thirsty. But he didn't get no water. She give him milk. And she also she gave him the milk, and then he fell asleep. So I guess that probably was warm milk to make him go to sleep. So he lied down and went to sleep. And she drove a pig through his temple into the ground, and he died. So he died while he was sleeping. And so God said he see God to get different people he gonna see God is gonna he's a God that never gonna lie. He said he gonna word your enemies to you. That just what he did. He had somebody else to do it, and she got him while he was asleep. So now Jabin was now the other one, he's still alive. Jabin, he's still alive. And so the Israelite got stronger and stronger against him until he was destroyed. Till he was destroyed, and he died. So now the Israelite. So now God had a woman, Deborah, who was a judge and a prophet, the first judge to lead over Israel. So now God can use a woman to